Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Welcome back, guys. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all the things. We're live on YouTube and on Twitch. We're not live on Facebook today. I don't know what's going on Facebook. I've been trying to reconnect to the different streaming platforms that I have. We can't go live on Facebook right now, but the majority of you follow us here on Twitch and on Facebook. And of course, those of you that are watching on X as well. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The holidays are almost completely over. And if you're watching this, you can see I've already taken everything down in the studio. I'm still fixing stuff. So if things look a little disarray, I literally was doing this last night in regards to taking everything that took down the tree, put the ornaments away, put the tree in the tree bag. I already took down the tree in the living room. I was going to wait until today to take it down, but I started last night. I was just like, I was in my mode. I was in my Virgo mode. There's no Virgo in my chart at all. I was in my Virgo mode, getting it done, because then I'm going to move all this stuff to storage. And then part of me was sort of like, I put it up maybe a little too early, but which is fine, because at least this is now the motivation right now to put this stuff away, all right, and get my storage unit organized. Once we put everything in for the new year. So happy New Year's Eve for those that celebrate. I think the majority of us are celebrating already. Shout out to those of you that are abroad, that are hours ahead of us. Those of you in Thailand, you're already celebrating the New Year. So happy New Year. Australia, right? Happy New Year, right? It's the New Year in Australia. Y'all let me know. Jermaine says, you took your stuff down quick, Camp. And honestly, it wasn't a lot of stuff here in the studio. There wasn't that much stuff. I had a tree, right? You know what, Kendra? I'm going to block you on Twitch. Kendra says, did you change the wire yet? It's not the new year. And just because, I'm a stubborn Taurus, I might not change it until I'm fixing and ready. Okay. Guys, if you had to rate last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, some of you probably didn't realize that it was a new episode of Salt Lake City because you don't even know what day it is, right? So here come V. Hi, just coming in. Is this live pre-recorded? Someone just get her. Just someone kick her for me, okay? No, it's not pre-recorded. Let me put her comment up here so she sees me, that it's not pre-recorded. It's not pre-recorded. Y'all, I should have pre-recorded so I can get some of this stuff done. It's the new year. I have laundry being laundered right now. I already changed my bed sheets. I'm going into the new year with clean bed sheets. All right. I'm going to wash my, before the new year too, again. Okay. Just saying. All right. All right, Mr. Miller Magic rated last night's episode a 7. I thought it wasn't a bad episode, and I'm wondering if she said, "Don't kick me." I'm wondering to myself if the fact that I watched it a second time already. I actually watched it 2.5 times because that's why I was late. I was literally rewatching what I watched this morning. That's why I pushed back the live to this time. Normally we recap a little bit earlier. K-Baby says, "No violence, Kempire." Sorry, I'm a little angry. All right, no, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm not angry. I think maybe I'm a little tired. I had a rough sleep last night. I think that full moon is getting me. Okay? Maureen says, it doesn't sound pre-recorded. It's not. I'm live, Maureen. I'm live. Does the other one sound pre-recorded? Lord. Because I'm not talking to the chat. Look, as I said to you before in regards to pre-records, if you want to get this content, you better be happy with a pre-record. Okay? All right? All right. Yeah, so if I thought it was a decent episode, and I'm thinking to myself, if the reason why I think that it was a decent episode, I think it was a good episode generally, but then I know next week is the season finale. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if it's the season finale next week, we don't have that much more to go. So I kind of already have a sigh of relief. I do feel like this season of Salt Lake City sort of started off really good, and then it really petered out very quickly. But I enjoyed this week's episode. If I had to rate it, I'm going to give it an 8. I thought it was solid. If I could watch it 3 times and not be bored and interested, and I'm like, wait, what did she say? And I giggled to myself. This is just a really good cast. They work very well together. And I can't believe that we were just talking about everyone having arguments a couple of weeks ago. And now we're on this cast trip and it seems like they're having a good time with each other. You know what I mean? Jermaine says the full moon stayed getting me. I looked up out of my window last night and I said, oh, wait, is it a full moon? You know, usually I keep abreast of the full moons, new moons, and all that stuff. And then the moon was just glowing down. I don't know about y'all. Okay? Oh, you know what? I did tell you, did you guys see the video that I did yesterday? That might be why I had a rough sleep. I was meditating like around 5 p.m. Eastern yesterday, fell asleep, woke up to finish my meditation, fell asleep again, had like an hour and a half, and I didn't think I'd be able to fall asleep last night, but I did, but I guess I didn't. It was a little bit of rough sleep. But it's okay. It's okay. Tonight, I'm going to have a good sleep, right? Maybe? Trini says, Mary with the alcohol made me laugh. Mary has so many little moments that make you laugh. If you're not paying attention, you're going to miss out on them. Speaking of Mary Cosby, are you guys going to watch the documentary that airs tomorrow? I think it's a 3-part documentary. I'm going to watch it just to watch it. I can't promise that I'm going to recap it. We've been talking about it, at least from the previews. So for those that may have missed it, we have talked about it. We even talked about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's reunion looks. Remember when this photo leaked? Okay, well, apparently this past week, they released the official pictures. We already kind of gave ratings, but look, we always judge the reunion looks initially when they released the photos, but then we're like, okay, how does it look in motion at the reunion? But they did release the official photos. Here's Mary Cosby's look. I love this color on Mary Cosby. Hair looks great. Mary Cosby is very conservative. She is the head of a church, so I'm not surprised at that. But I think this is just okay. I don't really go to Mary to be a fashionista. She doesn't always wow me with her fashion. Sometimes I'm sort of like, that's interesting. But if you guys had to rate Mary's reunion look, this teal is beautiful on her. I like the gloves. I kind of want to see whatever's happening on the top part of her dress. We can't see it in this photo. But I kind of want to see what's happening there. But it's beautiful. It's elegant. Jermaine says it looks very churchy. And she's the head of a church. Rainey on Twitch says, I like her makeup. I mean, her hair and makeup looks great to me. I kind of wish that she had this hair, when they did the photo shoot. And honestly, this color. But I like the color that they chose for her for the photo shoot that they did in this week's episode. I thought that photo, I wish I could have had a high quality version of the group photo. They looked beautiful. The dresses looked beautiful. They looked beautiful. I just hated Mary's hair in. Look. We have to keep in mind, too, and unless you have, glam with you, especially for a black woman's hair, I was sort of like, I'm going to give her grace because she's probably doing it herself, and that's probably why the hair wasn't looking. It looked a little flat for me. While I think everyone else had glam, to be honest. Well, the good majority. Why didn't she have Angie do her hair? That's like your bestie. She should have had Angie do her hair. But I don't know if Angie's familiar with black hair. I don't know. I've never been to her salon, but it's also Salt Lake City. So who knows? I thought it was a beautiful photo shoot, but the reunion looks. Okay, so that's Mary Cosby. If you had to rate her look, how would you rate it from 1 to 10? If you're part of Replay Crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts as well. Oh yeah, that's a People Magazine color that she wore, right? Mary. Here's Angie K. Angie, I have to say, more times than not, she's always she looks put together very well. I like this because I remember when I looked at the group photo, I wasn't sure. I thought she looked good, but now seeing it in higher quality, this sort of like ox blood color that she's wearing, it's almost red, like a dark red. I'm not going to say burgundy. It's not very burgundy. Maybe it is in person. I don't know. Hair and makeup look great. I think she looks amazing. But Angie, for the most part, when she comes to these reunions, looks great. I'm gonna give her a 9 because I do like this. I kind of would like to see Angie play up some of the hair and do something different with her hair, though. I like her hair, but I want to see her do something different. Bronwyn, you like sometimes she can be hit or miss for me when it comes to her fashions. I don't always love her fashions, but I will say at the dinner in this week's episode, the hair, I like her hair short. So many people are like, oh my God, I love the long hair on her. I think the long hair looks great, but I like the short hair on her. Not a lot of people can carry that. And then my thing is, too, you have so many brunettes on this cast. I feel like you sort of fall. You could be Meredith right now. If you squint your eyes, this could be Lisa. You know what I mean? The short hair separates her from the rest of the group, you know? I don't really love, this is not my favorite dress from her. The look that she had at the dinner on this week's episode, I love that dress. Oh, that dress was gorgeous. And I love the hair short. So for me, sometimes she takes risks, which I can appreciate. You know, a lot of housewives don't take risks. We're going to talk about one of them in a second. But this was not my favorite look. I think this was just okay. She doesn't look bad. I'm going to give it a 7. I might give it a 6. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6. Because I really don't love... The hair looks fine, but I wish... maybe if she had did shorter hair, I would have loved it. Maybe. How would you guys rate Bronwyn's reunion look? Speaking of giving bare minimum, let me bring up Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow's look. Look, I feel like she just gives you a variation of what she gives you every single reunion. Okay? I feel like that we've seen her wear this before. It looks good on her though. And look, some people say great minds usually will just wear the same thing over and over again. So that way you don't have to think about anything. That's what they say about great minds. I'm not saying that Lisa is a great mind. What I'm saying is that maybe that's why she's doing that. I mean, her hair and makeup look great. She's got a thing that works for her. I love the color on her. It's so interesting to me that her and Meredith match. But this is a solid but safe look. So I have to give her like a 7.5. How would you guys rate it? It's not a bad look at all. I actually prefer her look more than Meredith's. Not Meredith's. More than... Look, I'm mixing you up already, Bronwyn. I prefer her look more than Bronwyn's look and Mary Cosby's look, to be honest. It's safe. I'm going to give her a 7. Meredith Marks. Okay. I usually do not love Meredith's looks, but I actually really love this dress on Meredith. I think her hair and makeup looks great. I think Meredith looked really good during this Greece trip. If we were to do like a whole rundown of all the looks that Meredith gave during this Greece trip, she gave a lot of really great looks. Bergie says that she looks miserable. I'm sure she had a tough reunion, right? I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm sure Meredith had a tough reunion, especially after this week's episode and them speculating on her sobriety. I love this color on her. I think her hair and makeup looks great. Again, she's had a lot of misses during the reunions. I think this was a good one for her. I'm gonna give this a 9. This is probably one of my favorite looks. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 9. Okay, barely nothing. Okay, all right. Heather Gay. Heather Gay has probably never, ever gotten it right at a reunion. Just line up all her different reunion looks. She probably has never gotten it right. Right? What is this? This is definitely giving Mormon Stepford wife. I don't like it. I think the color actually is nice on her. I don't know who dresses her. Normally we read through the people and stuff like that. I don't have it in front of me, but okay. Eva Scientist says that it looks like a costume. I don't know what it looks like, but I don't like it. Oh wait, I do have a picture of, because I know if she's watching, she'll be very upset if we don't talk about her reunion look. I do want to talk about what's her name? Oh my gosh. What's her name? Whitney. Damn, Whitney, I forgot your name already, girl. That's terrible. Let me show you Whitney's look. Whitney's look looks better in this angle because when they did the group shot, I was like, what is Whitney doing? Like, hair looks plain, dress looks okay. But in this shot, the dress looks a lot better. I feel like she's missing something. I don't know if it's like beautiful earrings. I don't know if it's a necklace. I don't know if it's the hair that looks flat. But it's okay. It's safe. And usually I kind of like her looks. But this is just okay for me this time around. It's not bad, though. I would give it a 7. How would you guys rate it? Oh, Olympia says it's giving Giselle. Damn. That is a diss, Whitney. That is a diss. Mexi says Whitney looks beautiful. She looks beautiful, but I think I expect a little bit more from Whitney. And that's why I'm sort of like, this looks just safe. It looks safe. She doesn't look ugly. You know, we've seen ugly dresses before, but she doesn't look ugly. Let me bring up, what's her name? I forgot her name already, Brittany. Let me bring up Brittany because, you know, Brittany's going to be mad as hell if we don't include Brittany. Let me bring up Brittany. Guys, as I'm doing that, don't forget to like the video. It's easy. It's free. Okay, wait a minute, Brittany. Wait a minute, Brittany. Wait a damn minute, Brittany. Wait a minute. Okay. Because when the group shot came out, obviously Brittany wasn't in the shot. But now Brittany looks good, y'all. Hair looks good. I kind of wish she had kept the short hair for this, but this looks fine. I love this color on her. It's almost like the color that Angie gave her for the photo shoot in this week's episode and said that that was the ugliest color. Angie, I know you're going to watch this. Angie, stop making yourself look so pressed by Britney. Like, if you want to be an iconic housewife, take a note from Stacey over there in Potomac. She doesn't let these people see her sweat. You're letting a friend of the show, you're letting Britney make you sweat. All right? I like this color on her. I think she looks great. I think she looks great here. I love the color. I love the cut of the dress. Hair and makeup looks great. I kind of wish she went with the short hair. I kind of wish she did. But maybe she wanted to go with the long hair just to throw that in Angie K's face. I'm going to give this a 9 too. This is one of my favorite looks. Look, Reese says Brittany looks good. Angel says, wow, Brittany did good. Right? I think she did good here. Brittany, congrats. Congrats, Brittany. All right, let's get to the episode itself. Let me, open my nose. This is why I don't eat before a live. Because then I'm like, you know what I mean? Rocky says that she looks like a bruised banana. Really? K-Baby says, Brittany, 7, love the color. Right? All right. Let's get into this week's episode. So they start off this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Angie gets into another accident on a trip. This time, she walks into the person bringing up the food for breakfast and things like that. If you pay attention to the video footage, Angie looks in the direction of the kitchen. So she's not looking in front of her as she makes that turn. So it was Angie's fault, not the poor server. Not the poor server. So she busts her lip. So this is what I love about this cast, how despite their issues, they can make jokes. Like Lisa's getting along with Angie in this episode. She's getting along with Bronwyn. And they're looking at her busted lip. And she's like, and Lisa's like, oh my God, was your face swollen like that? And Bronwyn's a good housewife. And when I say good housewife, it doesn't mean that you like her. It's the fact that she's great in her confessionals. She knows how to move things along. She knows how to play the game. She's a good addition to housewives in general. So she knows how to play the game. Bronwyn jokes to Lisa that Angie's lips are always that big. She pays good money for her lips to be that big. All right. She also said that the lip filler basically saved her life. Mary walks in and she's like, "You got into another accident, Angie?" And she walks away annoyed. Then we have the scene with Lisa and Meredith by the pool, and they flash back to the night before. And this is, again, despite all the issues that they've had this season, what happened on the plane, they're all having a good old time at this restaurant the night before. And we see them taking shots and doing things like that. Meredith says that she's just tired of all the fighting. Because Meredith is in a good mood this week's episode. I don't know about next week, which is the season finale. You know what I mean? So they had this little moment. It's really interesting because I know that Lisa and Meredith had their issues. Okay, you look. Hold on.
Yeah. Meredith can go f*** herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a f***ing whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb f***ing family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that f***ing piece of garbage whore. I f***ing hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go f*** herself.
And apparently Seth is too. Apparently. We'll get to that. But it's interesting to see how they've come almost full circle in their friendship in regards to sort of letting that go and them having each other's back. I will say this, though. Lisa and Meredith were definitely giving mean girl behavior on this episode, right? I feel like, especially, and maybe the other ladies are able to mask it with concern, their mean girl behavior, but it's very in our face with Meredith and Lisa and how they gang up on Britani. It's giving what they may have done on the plane. You know what I mean? So I feel like what we were watching in this week's episode, I was like, look at Lisa being a meanie. Look at Lisa being a mean girl. So that's the vibe that I was getting from Lisa this week, especially talking about Britani being an alcoholic. That there's a difference in regards to what we saw with Whitney and Mary and Bronwyn, what they were talking about with about Meredith, versus what we see later on with Lisa wanting to weaponize what may have happened. And I don't think Lisa was the only one. I think Lisa and Meredith planned that to bring it up. To project, I feel like Meredith might be projecting, but we'll get there. All right? But Meredith says she's tired of the fighting. She just wants to get along and have a good time and have some fun. You know what I mean? So Angie welcomes this lady who brings the different dresses because they're going to be doing a photo shoot. And she says these ladies are going to fight over their colors. Whitney already says, "I want blue." Okay. So Britani comes in. Everyone's coming in to choose their dresses. Lisa's like, "I think purple's great." Britani comes in and she chooses, according to Angie, the ugliest color. I don't think that's the ugliest color. I thought it was actually it's like an orange that she chose. So Lisa says, "I don't know why every time in this group we have to dress up." Okay. And she says, "Usually when I walk into the beach club, everyone's like, 'I die for your outfit.'" She said, "The only time I liked when we had to dress up is when everyone dressed up like me."
That's really upsetting to me, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that.
Okay, fine. Fine, okay? And we know she doesn't love to dress up. But this is not a costume. This is more of a beautiful gown, so she was down for it, okay? All right. So they get dressed. They're going to head out to go take these pictures. Meredith is in a good mood. She's even helping Heather. Heather's dress gets caught, and then she has a nip slip, and I'm like, she doesn't even really fix it. She just sort of like covers up, and I'm just like, okay, what is happening right now? All right, so they do the photo shoot, okay? Everyone looks so beautiful. I love the group shot of them. I wish I had a high-quality version of the group shot, but you saw the episode. They looked beautiful. That one shot alone, even Bronwyn was just like, at least with the photos, no one has to talk. We can actually pretend like this was a good trip and that you guys had a good time. It was a beautiful photo. And I want to see the finishing photos of all of them. Britani, though, something stood out to me. And I don't know if this stood out to you guys. The way that she spoke to the photographer, she's like, I don't need you guys to do 3, 2, 1. I'll just do a bunch of different movements. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, that's the real Britani right there. That's the real Britani. The Britani that her daughters don't want to talk to. I'm sorry. Did that stand out to anyone else? That stood out to me. Hey, Jason, that stood out to me. I was like, and the guy had to tell her, no, the 3, 2, 1 is to let the assistant know to, move the dress so you can get the shot. And I was just like, I'm not saying that she's a mean woman, but it stood out to me. Okay, but maybe she's very particular. All right. Mr. Melly Magic says she thinks that she's the star. That must be it. I think she looked great though. I think they all look great. Yeah, all between the hair and the dress. I can only imagine what those photos look like. Chris says that's the real Brit, right? All right. Yep. Fiery says yep. Ann says yep. Coco Vibration says yes. So it all stood out to you guys as well. A lady with swords says, okay, Britani, how about no pics? That's like what our parents would say to us if we start acting up, right? How about no pics then? How about no gift? How about we do not go into the store? How about that? It stood out to me, and I was like, oh, that's the real Britani. Because I don't think we get necessarily the real Britani. Alessia says they all look great. They did. And I loved all the different colors and the beautiful shots and how they were rooting each other on during it. It was like a nice moment. All right. So all of a sudden, Heather and Whitney are whispering to each other. Bronwyn's like, what are you guys whispering about? And they're like, Meredith is in such a good mood today. How long do you guys think it's going to last? By the next day, they assume. It really did last for the entire day. But I think a lot of them speculate. They're trying to speculate that it might be something else going on with Meredith. We will get to that. Okay? All right. So then some of the group breaks up and some go to the spa and then some go to lunch. So Whitney, Bronwyn, and Mary go to lunch. Whitney said that she felt a little bit closer to Meredith today based on how far they came from yesterday's lunch versus what they were doing during the photo shoot. They were helping each other and things like that. So Mary then decides to express concern for Meredith, and she says she's very concerned. And Whitney then starts to compare Meredith's mood swings to what she noticed with her own father. For those that don't know, Whitney's father, who has been featured on the show, she hasn't seen him in a few years because of his addiction. Okay? So she starts to make these comparisons. Mary then also gets emotional and makes comparisons. She's like, before I couldn't see it, but now dealing with her son and what he's been going through, she can now see things that she never saw before. So I thought this was very interesting. I don't know if I trust Whitney because I feel like Whitney weaponizes people's vulnerabilities for very much like Ashley in a way. And I think we need to pay attention to that. But in all fairness, she does have a father that has had addiction. So I can see how that could be triggering to her. Here's my problem with this scene. And I get it. Even Mary, I was sort of like, not Mary's also expressing concern. My problem with this situation is the fact that discussing someone's sobriety or issues with sobriety, talking about this, how is this supposed to help the person, especially if you're talking about this on national television? Have you guys ever tried to take her aside and have a conversation? And Nia says, sorry, but Mary seems more genuine than Whitney. I agree. And especially because this is very new for Mary and what Mary's been dealing with at home. Someone said Whitney Darby. Not Whitney Darby. King Ping B says, I don't trust Whitney either. She seems disingenuous. But my concern with this, and I get it, because so many people ask for real reality television, and I get it. Someone's addiction is real reality television. However, talking about this is such a sensitive topic, and you guys are not really her friends. You're not her family. Talking about this on the show could set someone into a spiral of addiction. I just feel like it might be a little too far. I don't know about you guys. I cringed when this conversation happened. And I did feel like Mary was really concerned. I still feel like this was not the time or place. Especially when watching Whitney's reaction, I just don't feel, and she could genuinely feel something for Meredith and be concerned. I just don't know if I believe it because we've seen her weaponize stuff like this before for a storyline. Exactly. Chris says, I know what you mean. Talking about someone instead of to someone is not helping, especially on a platform like this. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Special K, who blocked you? Wait, weird for a minute, I was blocked. Special K, where you been? We didn't block you. Unless it was by accident. Things happen. Here you are. Here you is, Special K. Welcome back.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt. From renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year, you can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like ETFs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors LLC, SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not an investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
What's up, y'all? It's Big Loon from It's Up There podcast. In this powerful episode, we're breaking down the danger of silence and how way too many of us are taught to protect the vibe instead of protecting ourselves. We spend more time researching cars, microphones, sneakers, than we will researching on how to protect our bodies and our partners. If you have an honest conversation, one uncomfortable minute can save you a lifetime of regret. The CDC says nearly 1 in 5 people carry an STI, and most don't even know it. Real intimacy isn't built in the dark, it's built in the disclosure. Condoms, testing, transparency, those aren't passion killers, they're peace builders. It's too much risk in our silence. Speak up. You can listen to this special episode of It's Up There podcast with Loon, brought to you by Healthy Sexual from Gilead Sciences on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Nia says, I agree, Kempire. Take Meredith aside and talk to her. And that's the thing, too. I might even say take her to the side on camera. Because if you really are concerned, I would have a conversation off camera. But maybe they have. And now they feel like they have to bring it on camera. I just don't know. I feel like that it's a little weird. And it made me uncomfortable to watch it. But it's not like we haven't talked about Meredith possibly having an issue. But that's us talking about it. We're not talking about it on a show and acting as her friend. Oh, if the YouTube app is glitching for anyone, guys, swipe out of it and come back on in. I seem to be working on my end. So if there's anything glitching, sometimes it happens with YouTube. Come out of the app and then come back. Or watch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. Right? Because Twitch, it's not glitching for y'all over there. Theo, hey Theo. Theo says, it's going to be crazy if they end the season on a cash trip the third year in a row. Oh, that's what they're doing, I feel like. That's exactly what I expect next week. How are they going to top receipts-proof timeline? Well, don't you think last season was pretty damn good? I don't think they topped that, but it was such a good ending last season, which made us surprised that the reunion wasn't as good. But maybe the reunion will be better. You know, recently we had the Brooke, Ashley, and Taria Vice on here on the channel to do a Raw Housewives Ultimate Takeover. If you missed it, we talked a lot about Salt Lake City. We talked about RHOA. We talked about RHOP. So be sure to check that out. Look, Stormy says, we good over here on Twitch. All right, Twitch. Kendra says fabulous on Twitch. So, I mean, either way, guys, if it's glitching for you and it's still not working after you come out of the app and you come back on in, head on over to Twitch. We do have a large community of people over there as well. And I will be maybe I'll go live on Twitch tonight if I'm still around for the new year. Maybe I'll go live on Twitch. Start the new year off right? Right. All right. Yeah, Lady with Sword says, I hope the reunion is better than last year's. Last year's was the flop. It was. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I wonder, did they film the reunion? No, she was already out. She was still in jail. Jen Shaw, right? When they filmed the reunion. So who knows? I don't know. All right, excuse me yawning. It's only 2 p.m., Kempire. It's only 2 p.m. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. You can also hear our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today. Ali Margaret says, Kempire, did you watch that Saved Live after? What's Saved Live? What are you talking about? Toya says, we don't need a 3-part reunion. You know you get in one, though. And maybe that's part of the reason why they didn't do an after show. Based off of what we're watching, I'm starting to see more and more why they didn't do an after show and why they did these separate things because of what they're talking about. I think because of the airplane incident, because they're talking about Meredith's addiction, I think that's part of the reason why they didn't necessarily do the after show. I think by next week we will know exactly why they did not do their own after show. And they did do an after show, but it wasn't like the group after shows. They did individual conversations with producers. So I thought that was interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. I feel like this week kind of gave me an idea. I was like, oh, maybe this is why they didn't do the after show together. All right. So Mary gets emotional. She starts crying because she's really concerned, which makes Bronwyn and Whitney start tearing up. And Mary says she relates to what's happening with her son to what she sees happening with Meredith. She feels like Meredith is not who she usually is. So Whitney says that she's felt like everyone knows, but they don't talk about it, which makes me wonder if this is something they've been talking about off camera. So Maureen says, Kempire, have you ever spent New Year's Eve at the iconic Times Square broadcast? Real New Yorkers do not do that. If you go to Times Square, if you go to Times Square in general, unless you're going for a Broadway show, real New Yorkers do not hang out in Times Square. And really New Yorkers do not go to the ball drop in Times Square. That is for the tourists. And I'm sure if you go there now, first of all, there are already people there wearing diapers because you can't leave. If you leave your spot, you lose your spot. So they're wearing diapers and Depends. Yes. So they coming into the new year smelly. And yeah. New Yorkers don't do that. And I thought about it years ago when I was younger, and I was like, nope, still have never done it. If I ever do it, it will be watching it from a hotel in Times Square where I could see it from the hotel. That'd be the only way that I would do that. And that probably costs an arm and a leg. And I honestly, if I ever do it, guys, it would be because I'm hosting. Come on now. That would be the only, let's co-create that. When I actually will be in Times Square for New Year's Eve will be because I'll be hosting live from Times Square. Yes, come on now. Yes. Diapers and Depends. Yes, y'all. Okay. All right. Exactly. Hey, Dr. Jen says exactly. The hotel back balcony in Times Square. Yeah, Orange Sorbet. The people are there right now. You have to be there right now. God only knows how many people are there. Independence. Look, with soaked drawers. Ew. Can you imagine? Ew. Smelly. Eventually it's going to start smelling. That's gross. Okay? That's gross. No, KNC's take Don Lemon's place, Kempire. No, Don Lemon is hosting his on his own. Now, shout out to Don Lemon because you got to give him credit. Don Lemon could be just enjoying retirement. He got that huge payout from CNN. He got another payout from somewhere else too. He could just be resting on his laurels. No, he's developed a YouTube channel. He's done what all these other housewives, we always tell them to do, be consistent, and developed a whole YouTube channel, hit over 1 million subscribers this year. And he's hosting, because everyone loved when he used to host CNN during from New Orleans. So he's in New Orleans hosting New Year's Eve on his own. So KNC says, I like Don Lemon post CNN. Yep, because now he can be himself. He's his own boss. Just saying, good for him. Pandora says, not pissy drawers to enter the new year. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't know about y'all, but I'm doing laundry right now, so I'm going to have some new drawers on to start the new year. Coco says, just dehydrated into the new year. Lord. All right, guys. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. We already have over 200 likes. We appreciate that. What else did I want to say? Okay, let me move on. So Bronwyn, as they're all opening up about their concerns for Meredith, Bronwyn says she ran into Seth. Like there was something that's been sitting, bothering her. So she ran into Seth with Todd, the Todd father, when they were in New York City. And Seth apparently was with a woman. She didn't think of anything of it before because of things that she's gone through. But now, based off of Meredith's defensiveness when talking about Seth, she's now looking at that situation where she saw where she saw Seth with a woman in New York. Now he's looking at the situation differently. If she said a man, I would have believed it more.
How you doing?
I feel like Bronwyn just wanted to be included. I don't think just because you saw him, unless you saw him canoodling with a woman in New York, I don't know about that. Right? I don't know about that. I was just like, Bronwyn, it feels like you just want to be included in what's happening right now. Because you just saw him with a woman in New York. Okay, but she's saying Meredith's defensiveness when Britani brought up the TikTok video is what makes her think, because she said that's how she was when Todd did what he did. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Fun food freebie says, I watched him one day and he took your tagline. Are you okay? I was mad. Well, he does follow me on TikTok. Don, cite your sources. I mean, are you okay? I'm sure a bunch of people say, but I say it a lot. But it's okay. It's all right. At least I know he watches. Hey, Don. He does watch. He follows me on TikTok. All right. So Bronwyn just wants to be included, I feel like. And associating Meredith's reaction, I don't know if I believe that, because you saw him with some woman in New York. Now, if you said you saw Meredith with some man in New York, then I might believe you. Like, oh, something might be going on.
Got it. Meredith can go f*** herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a f***ing whore and I don't cheat on my husband.
Right.
Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You f***ing piece of garbage whore. I f***ing hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go f*** herself.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Jen says, meanwhile, your husband is farting while cheating on you, Bronwyn. Don't y'all feel like Bronwyn just brought that up to feel like a part of the group and spilling tea? It felt like, okay, so now you think that Seth is cheating on her. Again, if it was a guy and you saw him canoodling with a guy, then I might believe that more than what you're saying. But fine. I think they have an open marriage. What do you guys think? Very much like how she rents her homes when she's filming. I feel like she rents Seth. I think they would have gotten a divorce a long time ago, but she rents him so that she stays a housewife on the show. And that way she doesn't have to show any real relationships that she's having with multiple men, allegedly. Rainy Circus says that they have an open marriage. AGJ says, not a rent a husband. But I've been saying that. Corporate Vibration says that Bronwyn is an opportunist. I could see that. Ew. Izen says Todd farts definitely smell like fish grease. Y'all are gross right now. Let's not be gross going into the new year. But I tend to agree with you. Okay. Look, just because y'all talking all that mess, I'm like, I gotta clean my hands. All right. Let's move on. So that was Bronwyn's tea to spill. Okay. So while we have this scene, another group of ladies, we have Angie, Heather, Britani, Meredith, all at the spa where they have to be quiet. But as soon as Britani comes into the spa, she's screaming like, oh, and they're like, shh. So Britani's like, as she's walking around the spa with them in the water, she starts splashing them. And they have this big visceral reaction to her splashing them because you're like, we just had a fresh blowout. What are you doing? And at first, I was a little annoyed with Britani. But then when Britani said in her confessionals, they poured water on me during the last trip. And then they flashed back to when they did that. I was like, you know what, Britani? I'm not mad that you splashed them with a little bit of water. I think they do like to pile on Britani. I'm not a Britani stan or fan. But I have to give credit when credit's due. They poured a whole pitcher of water on her during the last trip. So, and they're like, we don't want to get our hair wet before dinner. Okay. So Britani says that they were pouring buckets of water on her. So, they could deal with a little sprinkle. So Lisa calls out Britani for wetting Angie's hair when they go to sit down. And, Angie has mind you, Angie and Lisa have not gotten along. What Kay says Heather peed in the water. I thought the same thing. Because she kept on saying, I feel like I could pee. I was like, oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. So Lisa decides to bring this up when they all sit down. And Lisa calls out Britani for wetting Angie's hair. She's like, she just had a fresh blowout. Why'd you have to do that? Lisa says that, your hair is synthetic, so of course your hair can be done in less than an hour. I thought that was hilarious. She's like, and I do think that Britani's response was funny too, because Britani was just like, it's not synthetic. It came from a real person out the scalp. Britani's a good addition too, y'all. She's a mess and thirsty, but I do think that she's a good addition. She does not need to be full-time. Do not make her full-time, and don't bring Jared back next season, Britani. I know you're watching this. You probably watch every single recap just for hopes that someone mentions your name. Britani, don't bring Jared next season. It's not required for you to have a man as a friend of. Don't bring Jared back next season. But okay. So Lisa says that Britani's hair is synthetic, and she says, no, it's not. It came from a real person out of a real scalp. Okay? So Britani is upset that no one asked her whether Olivia called her. And Meredith says she finds that so interesting because yesterday when she was complaining about not being able to talk to her son Brooks, when that happened, you were so insensitive. She was like, I haven't talked to my kids in 3 years. And Lisa in this scene calls it out. She was like, you haven't talked to your kids in 3 years because of the choices that you made. That's literally what we said the previous week and the previous episode. And she's like, She's like, no, you don't know the things that I've dealt with, Lisa. And Lisa's like, I'm basing my opinion on the things that you've said to us about your relationship with your kids. And Meredith says that Britani likes to cry to deflect like she did the night before. They said that Britani started crying, so they flash back to in the Sprinter when Britani starts crying, because remember they were arguing. She starts crying and says, I haven't heard from my kids. It's Mother's Day. Heather says to her in that moment, we're 8 hours ahead. It's still early. And I said to myself, wait, I got to rewind that back. I was like, oh, wait, you're right. It's 8 hours ahead. So what time was this? So let's say it's 8 o'clock. It's still early. She's so mad that the kids did not call her. But honestly, if the kids didn't call her, I would understand. You haven't been the best mother. All these people have been dragging you for being a terrible mother. Okay? I haven't really dragged her for that because I'm trying to be a little sensitive. But I, at this particular point, you're trying to rewrite history. Okay? She said, we're 8 hours ahead. It's still early. And mind you, Salt Lake is what? It's even early. I'm not even thinking about East Coast. My gosh. But all right. So Meredith says that she tries to use the crying to deflect. So Britani's just like, oh, is that something that you do? And she's like, no. And then she tries to talk about Meredith's relationship with her own kids. And she's like, you can't talk about you can't compare my relationship with my children to yours because I've really worked hard on having the type of relationship that I have with my children. And I was like, you know what? That's a word. No lies told, right? So Britani says that Meredith gets to speak to her kids on the daily. Meredith says that, she's worked hard to have that relationship with her kids. And you can't deny that. You can't deny that Meredith does have a very close relationship with her children. So Britani says, yes, Meredith, because Meredith is just like, don't talk about my children. And she gets up and she tries to walk away. Why, Britani, this is what makes you so thirsty and so sad. And we know that you're a fan of the show. She's like, yeah, Meredith, disengage. And then she's like, later on, she's like, yeah, you can leave. And so Angie and Lisa's like, stop using other people's lines. And Lisa's like, you better not trademark that. I mean, at this particular point, she would be smart to trademark it if Meredith hasn't already. That and husbands. But okay. So they had that, but mind you, the lady keeps coming in. Please, the other guests are complaining that you guys are too loud. So they're like, oh, we're sorry. They start talking again, and then she has to come back. Please, you're being too loud. All right. So we had that moment. So they get back to the villa. Heather and Whitney are getting ready, and Heather's using the steamer. Heather, the reason why the steamer did that was because you poured probably way too much water in it, probably above the line. You weren't looking. You put way too much water in there, so that's why the water started spewing out. Okay, at first I was like, why did it do that? But then I go back watching and it's like she just keeps pouring. She's not paying attention. There's a line in those particular type of steamers where you're supposed to stop. So Whitney reveals the conversation that she had with Mary and Bronwyn about Meredith. So Whitney says she isn't sure if she wasn't sure at one particular point if she wanted to keep chasing a friendship with Meredith, but she says after the lunch she realized that she really does care about Meredith. Do y'all believe that? This is why everyone feels like she's so disingenuous. I don't know if I believe that from Whitney. She loves to say like she cares about some of these people. I don't believe that. I think the only person that she probably really cares about, I don't even know it. I was about to say her husband, but even then, she's willing to throw him under a bus for her storyline. This season alone, we saw that. So I don't know who she would be ride or die for. All right. So they end up in the Sprinter. So they're on their way to dinner. Lisa talks about her love of reading in trees. Do we really believe this woman has a love for reading in trees?
Yeah.
Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You fucking piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
I don't think that Lisa read about trees. I think she saw the viral TikTok where the person was talking to the tree and the tree moves closer to them, because she cites that. She's like, yeah, I talk to my trees. I'm even building a grounding area in my new house. She says, she talks to her trees and she tells them it's okay to tap me on the shoulder. You saw that on TikTok. That was a viral moment on TikTok. You did not read about that. Okay? You did not read about that. All right? So Lisa talks about her love for trees, but then Lisa, I don't know, again, this is them self-producing. Lisa, well, first of all, Heather says this funny thing about the trees. She says that the trees wouldn't be able to get a word in if Lisa was present. This is where I always say that where Heather is necessary. Heather provides interesting commentary and funny commentary in her confessionals, unlike some of these other people, okay? So Heather makes that comment. Lisa then brings up to Britani. She's like, were you throwing up a lot during the last trip? And Brittany's like, well, I think we all got a little sick. No. And then asks if it wasn't from drinking. You sure it wasn't from drinking? And Britani is confused. She's like, why is Lisa bringing this up now, weeks later? So Lisa asked Britani if she's an alcoholic. She's like, are you a lush? And she was like, all this like throwing up, and Brittany's like, where did you hear this from? So they flash back to 2 hours earlier where Meredith is in a bubble bath and Lisa's talking to her, and Meredith brings up the fact that Britani was throwing up and drinking during the last trip. I feel like this is part of that conversation that we're missing. I think they wanted to bring this up during this to deflect from what people were saying about Meredith and her drinking. I do think that it's weird, especially a woman of a particular age. Like, it's not like you're 20 and you're throwing up and drinking. Not to say that's what I was doing when I was 20, but I know some of y'all, especially of this particular hue, were doing that. Just saying. Okay. So we talked about it too when we saw her do that, when she threw up over the boat and then she started drinking again. And I was like, that's weird behavior, especially for a grown woman. A grown woman, we know that mentally she's not grown, but so she's like, Britani says to her, like, so who told you that? Meredith says, well, I'm the one who brought it up. She says, I'm the one who brought it up. Well, they bring this up a little bit later on. Let me not skip ahead. So Meredith told Lisa this 2 hours earlier. When they get to dinner, it comes up again. Before we get to that, Bronwyn gets a text from Todd to call her, so she pulls away from the table. Like I said to you before, I loved Bronwyn's look in this dinner. I love the dress. I love the short hair on her. She calls Todd because Todd is helping her mother move from their childhood home. Like when she was 6 months old, they were living in this home. So Todd called to give her an update on what's been going on, and so she's mad that she can't be there to help her mom. But she said these are the things that we don't talk enough about when it comes to the Todd father, when he really shows up for her. I think this scene would have landed differently if we didn't know that they filed for divorce. Right? Because we've seen countless times where Todd apparently has shown up for Bronwyn when it comes to taking care of her family, financially, things like that. So she's like, these are the moments that, that she loves about Todd and that people don't see. Is those moments that the mother's calling. She's like, everything is just going wrong. And he's like, all right, no, I'm on my way. He's flying to be with her mom. That's not, and let's give the Todd father some credit. He also helped raise Gwen and was financially there for Gwen. Gwen probably has the life that she has now and the opportunities that she has now because of being a child of Todd. Okay. So, she comes back to the table and everyone's like, how's everything with your mom? And she's just updating them on what's been going on. She really tries to downplay it. All right. So they all taking shots. They take shots. Mary starts licking her shot. So they all start mimicking Mary licking her shot. So she's like, and then making her face. And then Mary in the confession was like, it tasted good. I loved it. I did. We couldn't tell. We couldn't tell Mary. So Britani decides to bring it back to her because she's like, what about me? Britani brings it back up with Lisa referring to her as an alcoholic. So Meredith says that she heard it through the grapevine. A little birdie told me that you were throwing up and drinking, throwing up and drinking, throwing up and drinking. So Britani's just like, wait, did my roommate tell you? So Bronwyn in her confessions was like, I'm not going to own this because that's not what happened. Bronwyn basically says that Meredith came up to her and said, have you seen Britani throwing up and drinking, throwing up and drinking? And Bronwyn just says, well, I share a bathroom with her. So, yeah. So she said, I'm not going to own it because that's not how it happened. She's like, I wasn't the one going around saying that. And look, is she playing semantics? Is she good at playing semantics? Yeah. But I do think that Meredith has a bone to pick with Britani, and she wants people to think that Britani's the one with the problem and not her. Daphne says Todd can be sweet off camera. Mr. Mellon says, I would put pause on Brit. I'm sorry. Why are you going to put pause on Britani? For what? What did she do to you? What did she do to you? Guys, I'm going to drop the call and link for those of you that are members of the channel. Let me do that now while I remember. So I'll be posting this on the post tab members. Live chat. Let's get to 300 likes and I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. We're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Next week is the season finale. Tomorrow is the Real Housewives, the Cult of a Real Housewife documentary coming out on TLC. It's like a 3-parter. So stay tuned for that. I might share my thoughts. Jessica, thank you so much for the super chat. Jessica says, I love when you played the Lisa Barlow crash out clip for no reason. Happy New Year, Kempire and everyone. Thank you, Jessica. We appreciate it. And we played it 3 times, Jessica. 3 times today. I said, why not go out with a bang? M. Lowe, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Says, not synthetic. That took me. There were a few funny moments. This is why I say I feel like this episode was a solid 8 for me. The Speckled, thank you so much for the super chat. Speckled, I just noticed your photos from The Color Purple when Suge Avery is singing at the bar and then they're flashing back to the church and that's her daughter, right? That's the daughter that's in there singing in the choir. And she makes her way back to the church. She's walking her way. She's walking her way back to the church, singing the church hymn because she overhears it at the club. The Color Purple is one of my favorite movies of all time. So she's making her way back to the church. I feel like I could watch it again. Making her way back to the church. And she, oh, you know what we should do? I'm not going to share the thought that I had. Never mind. And she's making it back to the church. God's trying to tell you something. And then she busts into the church. She busts into the church and she's singing. And her father's at the pulpit. And he's so shocked that she's coming in that she's singing this song. This sinner. She's such a sinner, but she remembers her church hymn and her daughter's up there. And she's singing. And the daughter's like, what is going on? And she's saying, and then she hugs her daddy at the end. And she's like, Daddy, see, even sinners got soul too. Sorry, I had to act it out. It was like a flashback. It was a flashback. Oh my God. Favorite movie. My God. Thank you so much to Speckle. You really brought me back. After watching this episode, I'm convinced that Lisa and Meredith did what everyone said they did on the plane to Britani. Exactly. It was the mean girl behavior, except this time Meredith was probably not inebriated. I agree. It was very mean girl behavior. And I was like, you guys are just proving the point just based off of this behavior. Thank you so much for the super chat, Speckled, and bringing us back with that moment. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat for being a member. Kendra says, for the rants 3 times without us asking, go Kemp. Thank you so much, Kendra. And thank you for this super chat, Kendra. Let me shimmy. Thank you. She says, can you play Set Me Free one more time, pretty please, Kempire? Let's have a happy new year. Because you asked nicely and you put it in a super chat. All right, let's hope that we can set Meredith free.
Set me free. job, Gregory. You did a great job.
All right. Hey, Brittany. Brittany says this episode is the epitome of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Humor, pettiness, and friendship/fighting. I agree. I thought it was a good episode. I really think that it was a good episode. And beautiful photo. Beautiful photo. Yes. Jamie, do not remind. I was a baby, literally, maybe like months old. Maybe I wasn't even born yet. Because that was 1981. Those Oscars. And I wasn't born yet. But it was my favorite movie as a kid. I watched it so many times over the years and read the book. Jamie says the original Color Purple got robbed at the Oscars. They were nominated for like 12 Oscars. 12 Oscars. Steven Spielberg was nominated for director. Whoopi Goldberg, I know she ended up winning one later for Ghost, but she should have won one for Seeley. Come on now. She is owed an Oscar for Seeley. But then when you really unpack some of what was going down at the time, it was the backlash over some of the things that were being talked about, including the lesbian kiss that you see between Suge and Whoopi's character, Seeley, in the movie. So Leela says it's the good job, Gregory, for me. Always, right? It's the best. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we're almost at 300 likes. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you're part of the replay crew, Happy New Year. Let us know how you would rate the reunion looks, but also how you'd rate this week's episode as well. Okay? And your thoughts on the episode, and are you looking forward to the season finale next season? Exactly. The NAACP. I know Whoopi talked about that. They were against the movie, and that's part of the reason why, like, your own was against the movie, which harmed them winning the Oscars. You should read the book. You should definitely read the book by Alice Walker. It's a very good book, and very much like the book. It's very different than the movie. I saw it on Broadway. I thought it was really, really good on Broadway. I didn't see it with Cynthia Erivo, though. I saw it with Fantasia. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it with Cynthia Erivo, but I doubt she's going to do that again. I want to see Cynthia return to Broadway. Cynthia, return to Broadway, girl. We want to see you on Broadway. The movies are great, but we want to see you on Broadway. Exactly. Savannah says, "As married now." Like, I feel like that happens at every black wedding now. When you get married, you see someone say, "As married now," because it was such a funny moment from The Color Purple. All right. Exactly. You're right, Jermaine. Jermaine says Whoopi's still an EGOT. She's still an EGOT, but she probably would have been an EGOT a lot quicker. Okay? Just saying. I mean, that's why she's one of my favorite actresses of all time. Whoopi. She has so many levels. She can do comedy. She can do dramatic. I mean, if you saw her in The Color Purple, woof. Patricia, I own the DVD too. I have the collector's one. I mean, of course, I don't have a DVD player to play it, right? I'm sure I do it somewhere, but yeah. But I don't think I have it in streaming too. You know what? I can't with some of y'all in the chat. All right. So back to this. They're fighting back and forth in regards to them calling Britani an alcoholic. Okay. So Bronwyn says that she didn't say it exactly like that in regards to that. Whitney calls out Lisa for the double standard for calling Britani an alcoholic. Like, oh, we can't say this about Meredith, but you can say this about Britani. So then it gets really nasty between Lisa and Whitney. They get real nasty with each other. And then accidentally, Lisa spills a drink. She's like, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't do that on purpose. And because Whitney's trying to get her thoughts out, and Lisa interrupts her. And she's like, can you shut the F up? And she's like, no, you shut the F up. I was like, oh my goodness. So Heather then says Britani is more accomplished than a lot of them. And Bronwyn is so offended by that. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, you're trying to uplift her, but you got to basically dog us out? I know, especially because Bronwyn does not respect Britani and everyone thinks that she's stupid, including Angie. They flash back to the scene where basically Angie says that she thinks that Britani's stupid. And I thought it was interesting that Heather did that. But this is executive producer Heather getting to work. Do I think that Heather really believes that Britani is more accomplished than the rest of the ladies? She starts going off her accolades. You were in Mistletoe. Lisa's like, oh yeah, you were on Broadway. And yes, Britani is talented, but is she more accomplished than the rest of these women at the table? And then Meredith is like, I've won design awards. I've won design for what? For your jewelry stuff? Okay, fine. But I understand. And they all fell for it. And Whitney's just like, it's so interesting that all these women are so bothered at the fact that Britney could be more accomplished than them. Just seeing them crash out over this is hilarious. And I agree. But Heather knew what she was doing. She knew that this would set them off. She likes to be contrary. She's just like, but she also says that she doesn't like to see the pile-on when it comes to Britney. And we've talked about the pile-on. We definitely think that they like to take their kicks out on Britney. Okay? Oh, wait a second. Angie Harrington is also in that movie, Anime Slave? I didn't know that. Or did I know that and just forgot and didn't care? Probably. Probably, because I feel like they've talked about that before. So, Heather says that everyone likes to pile on Britney. Mary then says to Heather, are you her mouthpiece? Mary says that Britney needs to be able to come to her own rescue. Angie says that Britney needs to find her own voice in the group. Okay. Whitney says that there's a difference between what Heather does for Britney versus what Lisa and Meredith does. And then this leads to an argument between Lisa and Whitney. Okay. Andres then comes in because as they're loudly speaking and arguing things like that, Andres, the server, comes in and is like, sorry, everyone, we're closed. Usually if you're about to close, they usually come and let you know. For all we know, that happened and they edited it out to make it more funny. Because at first I was like, you could at least give us 5 minutes. You didn't even come and tell us that you were closing. But I think that was intentional to make it seem, funny. All right. But I was looking at Angie with the side eye because Angie telling him, give us 5 minutes. And it's like, this is my country. You can't kick me out. I was like, the privilege of it all. The privilege of it all. So, so she's like, I'm not leaving. He's like, sorry, madam, we're closed. The restaurant's closed. And he was like, don't forget anything. Don't come back. Don't forget anything. And then when they left, he was like, thank God they left. But that's the magic about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They're able to have so many different arguments and fights and things like that, and then have this little funny end to dinner. And that's how they end the episode. But if you saw the preview for next week, they're going to be confronting Meredith with the conversation that they had in this episode in regards to her drinking or possible sobriety issues. Not sure. I'm going to wait and hold out judgment before judging what this is going to look like. But I did feel like I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with them talking about her sobriety or her having an issue for some sort of storyline for them to talk about. Brandy says Mary was cracking up. She really was. She was cracking up as soon as the man came to kick them out, to when he says don't forget anything, to when they were walking out of there. It was such a cute way to end the episode. Kendra says he was over them. I would be over them too. Can you imagine? We're seeing an edited version of these ladies. If you've ever been to BravoCon and you've sort of seen them behind the scenes, they're housewives for a reason. They're housewives for a reason. All right. Miss Melody Magic says that Big Mayor pulled up. Yeah, you see that in the preview for next week. Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandy says, me trying to get out of stuff. I got to go to school. Oh, I got to go to school. That's from The Color Purple. I got to go to school. You remember Nettie? And that's when he ended up kicking her out of the house because she wouldn't give it up to him. Mister. Not even death will keep me from it. Sorry. So for the white folks that are watching, go watch The Color Purple. I feel like everyone should watch it. It's great cinema. Great cinema. Go watch The Color Purple. Okay? It's actually a good holiday movie. Look. How, Kempire? I don't know. Go watch it. It's really good. I've seen it so many times. Me and my cousins used to recite it. Like, we used to know it scene by scene and recite it. Hilarious. I used to love that damn movie. All right. I didn't love the musical movie. I loved the musical on Broadway. I didn't love the musical movie. Sorry. Didn't love it. Not sorry. Would you do a draft for Traitors? What do you mean, would I do a draft for Traitors? What's that? What do you mean? All right, if you're a member of the channel, I've already dropped the call link for everyone on the post tab. Live chat, we reached over 300 likes, so I'm going to drop the call link for you guys as well. Keep liking the videos in an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. And don't forget to listen to us on the Kempire podcast. We also have our Club Kempire podcast. I have to put together another episode for you guys, but I did drop a couple of episodes the last few weeks, so be sure to check that out. All right, because I did drop some tea in regards to Nene Leakes, in regards to Cynthia Bailey. There are a few different things that we dropped this past week. So be sure to check that out. Club Kempire, there's a free 3-day trial, so be sure to check that out. That actually a 3-day trial will probably be ending in the new year. We're just giving you guys a moment to get into it, but that's going to be that you have to pay for it. For those that don't realize that, that's available on Apple Podcasts. You can also, even if you don't have an Apple product, if you go to the website, you can gain access to listen as well.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our Army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
What's up, y'all? It's Big Loon from It's Up There podcast. In this powerful episode, we're breaking down the danger of silence and how way too many of us are taught to protect the vibe instead of protecting ourselves. We spend more time researching cars, microphones, sneakers, than we will researching on how to protect our bodies and our partners. If you have an honest conversation, one uncomfortable minute can save you a lifetime of regret. The CDC says nearly 1 in 5 people carry an STI, and most don't even know it. Real intimacy isn't built in the dark, it's built in the disclosure. Condoms, testing, transparency, those aren't passion killers, they're peace builders. It's too much risk in our silence. Speak up. You can listen to this special episode of It's Up There podcast with Loon, brought to you by Healthy Sexual from Gilead Sciences on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. And for those that do listen to the podcast, you're listening to the podcast version, again, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We appreciate it. All right. Let's get to the caller so I can wrap it up because it's already almost 3 p.m. here in New York. I still have some laundry to finish up. And what else? I got some Christmas stuff to put away. I'm almost done, though. This tree's down. The other tree is basically down. I already took the ornaments off. The nutcrackers are down. Yeah, I don't have much more to do. I just need to move this stuff to storage and get it out of that's the thing I don't love. It's like, because before when I had the house, I could always move this directly to the attic or the basement. And I'm like, this stuff's got to sit here until I'm able to move it to storage. Storage is not far, but still, I can't do it today. I gotta get people to help me move it. Yes, I have a lot of stuff. All right, let's get to the callers, guys. Please keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged and of their own opinion, and they agree to not use any profanity, derogatory statements, and to abide by the timer. Okay? All right, let's bring up Toya first. Toya, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year, everybody. Blessings for 2026.
You too.
Thank you. I was surprised they had an episode today, but I'm glad because I needed a laugh, and these ladies did make me laugh. But on another note, I don't think Mary was lying because for Mary to talk about, the Meredith thing. Mary likes Meredith.
Yeah.
And with everything Mary has going on with her son, I don't think it's a storyline. I think it comes from a real place. But I also think Meredith puts on her lawyer hat and she threatens those ladies not to say too much behind the scenes. And there was speculation about her doing that to Heather, and that may be the reason why her and Heather had such a long issue past the airplane thing. Like, people think that Meredith probably used her lawyer hat to kind of threaten Heather a little bit.
Okay. All right.
To keep quiet.
Okay. All right. That's it, Toya?
Yeah, that's it for me. Happy New Year, everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Toya. All right. All right. Let's bring up Nia next. Nia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of... Hold on. There we go. Nia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire, Happy New Year.
You too.
So at this point, I do agree with you. I think Meredith and Lisa are giving Mean Girl vibes. I do think that they're kind of deflecting by calling Britani an alcoholic. Even though Britani is annoying, I do love the fact that she kind of gets under their skin. It's just very funny how they're bothered by a friend. It's just laughable at this point. And I do think that she looked really good in her reunion look. The yellow was really nice. And although she's delusional and dramatic and a whole paid actress, I do think that she deserves to come back. And yeah, she's pretty relevant. Even though she just lacks some parental skills, but she's still good TV. And yeah, Happy New Year.
You too, Nia. Thanks for calling in. Bye. Wow, not relevant. Wow. You hear that? She's going to be so excited about that, being called relevant. Wow. All right. Alessia's backstage. Alessia, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
You too.
So, for the first time, I'm sort of defending Meredith. I mean, I feel like they're going too far, with the insinuation and stuff. I mean, if it was me, I mean, probably because I'm a law student as well. So I would be like, Meredith, you can tell them this could be considered a character assassination, and I will just leave it at that. And I mean, let's be honest, when they want to hide something, they are really good at hiding something. They took it out at their own terms, Mary with the cold and Whitney with her business. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're going a little bit too far. I mean, they're just trying to cover the fact that they don't have a storyline. Because none of them have a storyline. That's what I feel. And Britani, I mean, she's good TV, but she's a bad mother. I mean, we cannot normalize the fact that her daughters didn't want even send a message because she's a bad mother. So she has to realize it. And side note, just for Heather, and I feel like people, she has to realize that people hate her because let's be honest, Tanisha, remember Tanisha, she was doing her hair, and I mean, and she was talking with reality volunteers. Whoever did the dress to Heather, hate her. Because the dress is horrible. It's hideous. So I would like to tell her, instead of worrying about people like Jen Shah or whatever, care about your glam team because your glam team hates you. I mean, I said what I said.
Okay.
Bye, Cam.
Thanks, Alessia. Happy New Year. All right, let's bring up Wendy next. Wendy, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire. Happy New Year. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So this episode, I'm glad they had dropped in the episode. It had me laughing while I was taking down my hair. From Angie getting her lip cut to Mary wearing that jacket over her dress to them getting kicked out both in two places. It was just hilarious. And I do believe Bronwyn told Meredith that, and Lisa just took the fall for it. I don't believe that she didn't say that. I believe she said it 100%. And that's all I got to say. I will be 50 Saturday. Woohoo!
Happy birthday. Today's your birthday.
No, it's Saturday.
Oh, you said Saturday. Okay, so happy early birthday.
Yes. Well, you have a happy New Year.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
All right, let's bring up Angel next. Angel, what did you want to share? Angel.
Hey, Kempire, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. I just wanted to say, I thought the episode, I would give it about an 8.5 this week. It was a very good episode, except for the clownery of Britani trying to act like it's everybody else's fault that she didn't well wishes for Mother's Day from her kids. That's your daddy. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You too, Angel. Take care. All right, we're going to bring up Omar next. So let me just restart. That was quick. She did it in less than 20 seconds. Okay. Let me bring up Omar next. Omar, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Omar, you're muted. Omar, are you there, Omar? Omar, I'll come back. Omar. Let me bring up Brandy next. Brandy, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I'm sitting here tripping because, like, I know the color purple dang near word for word too, and in all my 40 years, I never knew that was Suge Avery's daughter. I swear to God, like, that's her daughter?
It didn't stand out to people, but if you pay attention, the parents took her daughter and raised her daughter. That was, I mean, they never said it out. They never said it clearly, but that I always associated, like, that must be the daughter, because remember, she's the one singing, and they were raising her daughter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I swear, I'm sitting here thinking about that. Like, okay, Salt Lake City, just real quick. When Britney like splashed water on the girls, it was like so obvious that she's always so desperate for attention. Yeah. Like, if they were really smart, they would have just ignored her. But I think Lisa can't help but be a mean girl to somebody who she sees as an easy target, like Britney, because she just like instigated that whole thing, like in the spa. So it's like they should have ignored her. But yeah, I'm tripping off Suge Avery. So.
You're still on that.
I swear.
All right. Thanks, Brittany, for calling in. Brandy, I'm sorry. Okay. Brittany. You got me thinking about Brittany. Bye, Brandy. All right. Yeah. Again, they don't say it outright. I put two and two together in regards to that movie. You got to put two and two together. All right. Hold on one second. Let me bring up Omar again. Omar, what's going on? Omar, are you there? I hear you, Omar, but I can't hear you. Can you not hear me? Or not? Omar? Omar. All right, we'll come back, Omar. All right, so Chrissy's back. So you're going to bring Chrissy up next.
Omar, what's going on?
Ooh.
Can you hear me, Kempire?
I can hear you, Chrissy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't hear you. Sorry. For some reason, I can't hear you. But I'll just go ahead and talk. The only thing I really wanted to say, they need to stop telling Bronwyn anything about the other housewife. Because Bronwyn, when the situation happened where they were accusing Britney of supposedly being a drunk or alcoholic, I already knew. I was like, Bronwyn went ahead and told them about told Meredith and Lisa about the conversation that they had during lunch. They just need to stop talking to Bronwyn because she's an undercover messy person. That's what I'm realizing with Bronwyn. And then also I did want to say that Meredith is deflecting. I don't think Meredith has a drug problem or an alcohol problem. Maybe a pill popping, some of them do be popping pills with this mixing Xanax with the wine.
Allegedly.
A little bit of that. Maybe she's stressed out and she's just not realizing, hey, you need to lay off a bit. I don't know if that's considered that. But I don't think it's that like a very, very serious issue. I don't want to put that on someone and it's not true. That's what I feel. They just got to be careful with that because maybe it's just she got a prescription. She's not knowing how to use it correctly. And she just needs to stop drinking with the prescription. I don't know how to explain it. And then I do feel like the situation with the New York, it's over? Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Chrissy. Chrissy can't hear me, so that's why I had to give her symbols on that we're here. All right, let me bring up Omar again. Omar, are you there?
My goodness, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Woo! I'm having issues.
Do you have T-Mobile?
No, Verizon.
Oh, damn, Verizon.
I know, did me wrong. Woo. Listen, okay, I just want to mention this. Did anybody notice Lisa's kinkles as she was entering the spa? Number one. Number two, this is the second scenario or the second environment where we see Lisa, where she's supposed to be wearing like a bathing suit. The first one was at the beach during their yacht trip, and she was wearing pants. And the same thing again this episode where she was walking into the hot tub wearing pants or like cargo shorts. And I'm just curious, why the cankles and why the pants? Are we trying to hide something? And if that's the case, maybe she should lean into that, and maybe she could find a little bit of just be able to relate a little bit more.
Well, I'm sure hearing this is not going to make her want to wear anything that would be revealing her ankles ever again. That was very mean, Omar.
No, this was just to express to her that,
bloop, and there goes your time, Omar. Thank you for calling it, Omar. All right. They've talked about this before. Angie has talked about it. Remember, she made that remark a few episodes ago. Lexi says that Lisa has a medical condition. I'm leaving her alone. Did you make that up? Did you make that up, Lexi? I don't remember her ever say she has a condition, but either way, we're not going to go into it. All right, let me bring up Excommunicado next. Guys, if you just joined us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Excommunicado, what did you want to share about the episode?
Hi, Kempire.
What's going on?
Sorry, your face while the previous caller was talking to me. Sorry.
You guys put me in a very precarious position. When I'm here, I'm like, okay, where are we going?
Yeah, it was like, where are we going with this? Is this safe? Am I okay?
Save me.
Okay. Yeah, what was I gonna say? So, for the whole Britney alcoholic rumor, I believe Branway didn't put it like that, because Branway is one who is quick to like own up to her shit when she has spilled. And she tries as much as possible not to add sauce to things. So I believe that she didn't necessarily put it like that. And Meredith trying to spin the narrative away from her probably made it seem that way. But beyond that, I really love this cast, and I love the way that they are able to bicker and then come back together.
Yeah.
Like when Angie had the accident, Lisa was right next to them trying to like figure out if she was okay and stuff. And even Brownway saying that her lip filler was like a seatbelt for her mouth. That sent me to. So the episode was really good, and I think Britney is very important to this cast. She's a good addition to this cast. Let me put it that way. But I don't like the way that they all got really, really insecure over the idea that she might really be a bit accomplished or more accomplished than they are. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. And beyond that, Brownway also, despite her flaws, she keeps telling on people, and I hate that. But she's also very important to this cast to me, because I feel like besides her and Angie, nobody else on this cast can give a really good and witty spark.
I agree. Excommunicado, thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care. All right. And for those that are just joining us, Happy New Year. We are recapping. Yes, there was a new episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're taking callers now. We're going to bring up Winter next. Winter, what's going on?
Hi, Happy New Year.
You too.
All right, so I like this episode. I didn't get annoyed that much. I think it wasn't that much yelling, so I didn't catch a headache. A lot of their talking, I was just like ignoring them and just looking like at the scenes, like how beautiful the water was, the cruise behind them. I was like, oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
I really feel like that Meredith discussion, I felt Mary was more sincere. We know that Whitney be lying. We know that they're not really friends. So I thought that if you really care about this person like that, and it seems like you're discussing her alleged substance issues, you would be having these discussions off the show. So I was just like, do you really care, or y'all just trying to bring this to the camera? And Bronwyn, I don't know what Bronwyn we ever really get. Like, since she's been on the show, it's like she changes faces so many times. And now she's about to get a divorce. Exactly. It's like she's about to get a divorce. Now we're going to see a whole nother one. Like, who is the real Bronwyn? Like, she's too desperate and she needs some therapy. All right. Happy New Year's.
You
Bye-bye.
too, Winter. Take care. All right, let's bring up Cynthia next. Cynthia, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, Happy New Year.
You too.
Kempire, I haven't watched a lot of the episodes. I've been watching your recaps.
Oh.
I don't know. After, I think the last full episode that I watched was when Lisa and Angie were fighting, and Angie was throwing her black heart. That was the last full episode I watched.
Gosh.
It wasn't really interesting. It's not really interesting to me. I think Potomac is better.
Oh.
But other than that, Kempire, remember, I forgot what season it was when I know definitely Jen was on that season. They tried to accuse Meredith of taking shrooms or some type of psychedelic drug. I forgot.
I don't remember.
With Jen. Well, anyway, Kempire, my main reason for calling is I wanted to see if Taria and Brooke come into your live.
Say it again?
Will they be at the live?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Brooke
and you're breaking up now. And your time is up.
They're going to be there. Kempire, I forgot. I'm sorry, but I'll just come from Maryland to the live, whatever.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. All right. Fernando's backstage. We're going to bring Fernando up next. Fernando, what did you want to share about this episode?
What's up, Kempire? How's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I honestly wanted to say about this episode, I enjoyed the episode, but I honestly think that this season is lackluster. To have a season finale with Meredith, I don't know what the season has came to. I have enjoyed this season, not as much as I did last season, but I feel like next season for sure there needs to be a cast shakeup. Get rid of Meredith probably. Get rid of either Heather, which I probably think they won't, or if not, maybe Ashley. But I do think that next season they should definitely have a switch up. I do agree with the last caller. Bronwyn, we don't know what version we're ever getting of Bronwyn, so I can see that. Lisa, I have a hate-love relationship with Lisa as a viewer just watching her. But I feel like the cast is getting kind of stale, repetitive on what they're doing. I feel like this whole season was nothing but just table brawls and table shades, and it's like we need something new. We need something fresh. And that's all I got to say, Kempire. Happy New Year. Thank you. Let me tell you, this year, I've listened to all of your podcasts, all of your lives. You got me to the year 2025. Thank you, Kempire.
Thank you, Fernando. And I think you meant to say Whitney, but you said Ashley. So proves my point that she really is the Ashley Darby of Salt Lake City.
There you go then. Oh, my goodness.
Thanks, Fernando. Happy New Year.
You too.
Bye. Right? He was saying, I was like, wait a minute. I think he meant Whitney. Yeah. Same thing. Look, same thing. All right. Thanks to everyone that called in for our final recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City before 2026. For those of you that are watching, Happy New Year. Happy, healthy New Year, more importantly. Because I say, it doesn't matter if you have money, fame, the love, whatever. If you don't have your health, then you really have nothing. So if you're supposed to make your physical appointment and you haven't yet and you've been putting it off, if you're supposed to go in for your mammogram, you've been putting it off, do it today. Do it today. Make that appointment. That way that you will do it in the new year. All right. Just take this as your reminder. If you've been thinking about it, like, oh, damn, I was supposed to do that. This is your reminder. If you're supposed to take your vitamins today or you were supposed to go do that workout, do it today. We are doing if you check the post tab on YouTube, we are doing a fitness thing together. We're doing squats, abs together. It's a whole month long. We're doing it together. I posted it on the post tab on YouTube. So go check that out. We start tomorrow. All right? So if you're watching this, we start tomorrow. We start off slow and then we get into it. It really works though. I'm doing it with y'all. All right. Let me say thank you. We had another. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. Love from Kenya. Thank you so much. Love from Kenya. We're an hour away to the new year. Happy New Year to everyone watching in Kenya and those of you watching that are already celebrating the new year. Happy New Year. And I will see you all in the new year. You'll probably see me before that. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. As I said to you before, maybe. Mary says, Kempire, are you getting a BBL? What? You trying to say I need one? Look, should I go get one? I'm gonna go fly. Go to Dr. Miami, get me a BBL. No. I've seen some men get BBLs, and I'm like, I mean, we already know some of the ladies have gotten BBLs, and we're like, but I've seen some men get BBLs, and I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not trying to have a big old booty. I have a big enough one. All right. All right. Dootsy, which card? I've received a few different cards. What's your real name? Look at what's your real name. But anyway, I did receive a few different cards in the P.O. box and gifts and things like that. So thank you all for the holiday ornaments and the Christmas cards and all of that. We appreciate your support here. But you can also support just by liking today's video, sharing the video. Sharing is caring. Continue to share us into 2026 with your family and friends so that we can also hit 1 million subscribers in 2026. We did hit 560,000 subscribers before the new year. So thank you to everyone that has supported. Let's get to 400 likes. I will see you all in the new year. Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching and for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.